Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Spearhead magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, obviously, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already and you're new here, hit that subscribe button and, of course, drop a comment down below. One, goes a massive way to helping out the channel, and two, I really do appreciate it, whether you're just dropping by to say hello, whether you wanted to make comments about the different factions that we're getting, or if there's a certain faction that you prefer to have, or you're looking forward to, and everything like that, drop a comment down below. I love hearing back from you guys. I do try to reply to everybody that I can, and if you sometimes the other people who comment on this channel can give you a little bit of advice if you're looking for a bit of painting advice or tips and tricks and everything like that. Anywho, this week we are on issue number 9 of Spearhead magazine. It's a paint issue. You will find that I don't get super enthusiastic about paint issues. So we get 2 pots of paint. So we get Lead Belcher, which is a very, very versatile colour. You're going to use it here, there and everywhere on anything that's steel or meant to be steel. You're going to use it there. So you're going to be using it on the blades of weapons, whether it's axes, swords, halberds. You're going to utilise it on the barrels of muskets, for any muskets that we might have, which is mainly going to be for our good old Warplock engineer. You're going to use it here, there and everywhere. You're going to use it for things like scale mail and chain mail and other bits and pieces. And there will be other metallic items that I'm completely not remembering about that you will utilise this for. So it's very, very versatile, to the point where sometimes it's worth getting an extra pot. So, get to your local Warhammer store or your local third party, or if you wanted to, use one of the affiliate links in the description of this video and you can place an order with either Element Games or Wayland Games and get yourself a load of goodies to help you with your painting journey. Moving on. The other paint we get is Mephiston Red. So Mephiston Red is a relatively versatile paint, in all honesty. It's a decent red colour. Which is why it's called Mephiston Red. You are going to use it here, there and everywhere as well. So you're going to use it not super huge amount of the time, but you are going to use it in bits. So for instance, the Clan Rat tabards and stuff like that, you'll use it on there. You'll use it on certain bits of armour. You'll utilise it for things like eyes here and there as well. And things like the plumes and feathers and stuff like that that may appear on other factions. So it is a very, very good paint. I'm not going to lie, I have about 3 pots of this unopened. But yeah, it do exactly what you need it to do. That is the main thing that you want for it. So anything that you want to go red with, so if you wanted, I don't know, red armoured Stormcast Eternals, you can utilise Mephiston Red and make them look pretty damn cool. If you wanted to go for, I don't know, red Lumineth Realm Lords, you can do, and all that type of stuff. So entirely up to you how you utilise your paints. It is your choice because they are your armies. Anywho, going into this week's issue, now we're done talking about paint for the time being, we get some information about the clan's Skryre. So the skaven of the clan Skryre are avowed innovators whose deranged insights are responsible for creating some of the most deadly weapons of war imaginable. They are captivated by the possibility of their designs rather than the wisdom of them, and they live on the bleeding edge of warp fire and weapons research. The clan Skryre are the industrial powerhouse of the Skaven Under Empire. The other great clans all bid ferociously against each other to secure the most morbidly efficient weapons that the clan Skryre produce. Ever optimistic, the innovators of clan Skryre will often redesignate their experiments according to what they ultimately achieve. For example, a giant cannon which accidentally explodes and kills everyone around it will not be seen as a failure. Instead, it will be hailed as a particularly successful bomb. So, the Skaven of Clan Skryre utilise warpstone quite heavily, and they're slightly insane. So they create these pretty cool contraptions, as you can see on here. So they have things like the big, massive rattling cannon. I can't even remember what that's actually called now. He probably does tell me on the other side. But they also created things like the Doom Wheel, the Warp Lightning cannon, and so on. So there are some pretty cool bits and pieces. So under there are many, many different little bits and pieces here, there, and everywhere. So there are the Warlock Covens themselves. So there are Arch Warlocks. So every clan within Clan Skryre is led by an Arch Warlock. They are corrupt scientists who have ascended to leadership through their dark knowledge of deadly invention and innovation. Then you have the Warlock Engineer. So Warlock Engineers are the inventors who design Skryre's many deadly weapons. They take to battle and to deploy their innovations and modify them to be more deadly in the field. Then you have the Warlock Bombardier. So Warlock Bombardiers are one rat rocket batteries who are obsessed with pyrotechnics and projectiles. They will stop at nothing to blast oncomers to ashes with their weapons. And then we have our Warlock Galvanier. So Warlock Galvaniers are masters of electrical energy. They wield portable but powerful electrified weapons that fire warp-tainted lightning at any who stand in their way. Now, I'm not going to lie, I have a Warlock Engineer. I got it ages ago when it first came out. Absolutely brilliant kit. One of the really, really, really fun ones, and one that I really enjoyed doing. So it's a pretty cool model to get. So if you can, get yourself that bad boy. Moving on from there, we get the Warp Spark weapon batteries listed here as well. So these are the kind of new ones, if I remember rightly. So these are pretty cool. And they are operators of Warp Spark weapon batteries hide among the rabble of clan rats in the Skaven army and manoeuvre unseen into the most opportune position. And when the time is right, they reveal themselves and unleash a hail of deadly lead, warp lightning, or flame from their strange and experimental weapons. Then you got the Warplock Jezzails, which you get with the newest big box, and they are pretty cool. And I must admit, I still need to get mine built and painted. So the teams that use Warplock Jezzails are skilled marks rats whose mastery of ranged warfare allows them to kill the foe, staying safely back from the fighting. An enviable talent among the Skaven. So these are your long-range snipers for your good old Skavens as well. And then on the other page you get a little bit more information. So Warp Lightning Cannons, which is a bit of an older kit. It's been around for quite a while now, but it's really, really cool. Another one, but I must admit, I do have one of these, and I really enjoyed painting it and building it and everything like that. It was really good fun. And the Doom Wheel. The Doom Wheel is one of the most fun units, in my opinion, for the entire Skaven. I also have one of these, and I really, really enjoyed it. And it's one of them kits that I really do actually want another one, because it was good fun, even though I'm not a Skaven player or, collector or anything like that. But it was really good fun. Then, in all honesty, because it's a paint issue, we're going to move straight into painting. So, updating your paint jobs so far on your minis. So far, your Stormcast Eternals have literally been undercoated with good old Abaddon Black. You've got your Retributor armor on there, and you've got your good old Cantor Blue on there. And that's it. Now we have Lead Belcher. You can start adding the silver to the armor as well, and some certain armor pieces, so like the scales on your Liberators. You can add it to the axes and hammers and stuff like that as well, and even some certain other little areas here and there, like chainmail, for instance, and even the brazier on that good old staff that the Lord Veritant carries. So you can start adding those bits and pieces to it and making it a little bit cooler and a little bit more unique. and it'll make it stand out a little bit better. The other thing you can start doing is obviously using your Mephiston Red. So using it to use to like kind of paint up the leather that is wrapped around the handles and hafts of blades and weapons and here and there and everywhere. Works pretty well. Personally, I prefer Baragnar Burgundy over Mephiston Red. It's a little bit darker. It's more of a dark, deep kind of colour, and then highlighting it back up with a little bit of Skryre pink. And if you want to go that little tiny edge highlight further, you can use a little bit of like Emperor's pink on there as well, which is a very, very bright colour. Makes it pop a little bit differently, but you don't have to if you don't want to. When you're done with the Stormcast, updating them, if you're following the guide, you can have something that looks a little bit like that, which in all honesty is a very, very, very good start. I'm not going to complain about that. It's, if you're painting up Stormcast Eternals in the Hammer's Sigmar colour scheme, that is very, very, very good. So I can't knock it at all. Moving on from there, though, obviously you can get to update your Skaven. The Skaven have a lot more lead belcher utilised on them. They have far less gold, obviously. So you're going to be utilising it on things like the armour plating of your clan rats and even your clan leaders later on as well. Then obviously the spikes in the clubs, the blades and everything like that, you're going to be utilising it here, there and everywhere. And even on obviously your good old rat ogres. So you're going to have something that looks a lot more like that, which is also a very, very good, quick way of painting up Skaven. I can't knock it. It works exactly how you want it to work. The other colour, obviously, utilising your Mephiston Red, obviously, majority of these rats are from Clans Verminous. Clans Verminous colour tends to be red. So if you want to go down a very red heavy colour scheme, you can do now, because you can utilise your Mephiston Red and have something that looks a lot like that. If you want darker shades of red, you can get yourself a pot of corn red and then utilise your Mephiston Red to kind of bring it up in colour and highlight it that way if you really, really wanted to. If you want to go different colours, obviously you can do, because even though the Clans Verminous generally are utilising red, you can have them kind of more associated with, say, like Clan Skryre or the Clans Moulder, or any colour scheme you wanted to go for. If you want to go for bright yellow, go for bright yellow. If you want to go for pink and green spots, go for pink and green spots. It is entirely up to you. The Skaven are a bit of a ragtag army, so you can kind of have a little bit of fun with it. Anyway, moving on. We get more rules, obviously, for the game. So, obviously, as you're going through all of this, it is going to walk you through more and more and more of the rules. So, the shooting phase. So, obviously, there are ranged weapons within the Age of Sigmar. So, whether it's bows, whether it's rifles and so on, you are going to find little bits and pieces to go with the shooting. So, you have things, for instance, like the Lord Veritant and the Grey Seer, that both have Warpstone staffs, will both have kind of ranged ability in their magical abilities, so you can utilise those as well. And obviously it gives you the attack sequence here as well. So going through all of that kind of teaches you how to go about doing it. Obviously you have also your rat ogres, which have their warp fire guns, which, you know, pretty devastating on their own. As you go through, you're going to have bowmen from different factions as well. So we need the shooting phase to kind of allow us to move forward. And then we have a new basic kind of tutorial. So, death from afar. So, you're going to be utilising your liberators, going up against the clan rats and warlock engineer. Your Warlock Engineer you can utilise to pick off Liberators at range, while the Clan Rats soak up all the damage, if you wanted to. And the idea is generally to get your Liberators from one side of the mat to the other. So, pretty cool. Not too bad. A pretty decent little battle to kind of teach you and get you used to the shooting and everything like that as well. Which, yeah, you'll do exactly what you need it to do. That's the main thing. So, all in all, pretty cool stuff. Moving on. Next week, issue number 10 is a really cool issue for Stormcast Eternals fans. You get the prosecutors. Prosecutors are really, really cool. They are flying. They carry good old spears and trident. They fly. They have shields. They're pretty cool looking. They look a little bit Greek in a roundabout way. And they are probably one of my favourite units that you can get from the Stormcast Eternals range. These are the new version of prosecutors as well, so they have that kind of more flayed, kind of stressed edge to them. And they have cooler weapons now as well. So, really, really cool stuff. Super brilliant. I expect a lot of scalpers will be out for this because that's an absolute bargain for 10 quid. Getting those 3 bad boys, beautiful. Absolute steal. Anyway, that is enough from me. Thank you very, very much for watching. And yeah, we'll carry on with our journey through the Mortal Realms, and it'll be really, really good fun. So, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.